You have become the wealthiest man in the world. Is that a title that you really wanted or not? Is it a burden?
I can assure you I have never sought that title. And it was fine being the second wealthiest person in the world. That actually worked fine.
Back in 2014, a $600 million computing cloud project developed by Amazon Web Services for the CIA began servicing all 17 agencies that make up our intelligence community.
Our mover and shaker this morning is Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos. The internet giant has signed a groundbreaking cloud computing contract with the CIA worth as much as $600 million, according to Federal Computer Week. It says Amazon Web Services will help the intelligence agency build a private cloud infrastructure to help the agency keep up with emerging technologies like big data analytics.
So what do you think about the Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos, the richest guy in the world?
He's fascinating to
And
me.
he sits on a Pentagon board, and he has a $600 million deal with the CIA, and he runs the paper of note.
Wait.
So
Amazon Alexa's just gathering up information on everything you do?
Yes, it is.
That thing bothers
You know it.
the shit out of me, yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's all spooky.
It's like some kind of Orwellian nightmare.
Do you remember writing in your diary, freedom is the freedom to say 2 + 2 = 4?
Yes.
How many fingers am I holding up, Winston?
4.
And if the party says there are not 4, but 5, then how many?
5.
Our community is struggling. My husband is on unemployment for the first time in our life. And it's unwillingly that we're taking unemployment. We want to go back to work. We have employees.
Amazon's net sales increased by 26% year-on-year to $75 billion in the first quarter of 2020, led by the surge in demand as people stayed home owing to the global pandemic.
I know that people are angry, and that's okay. And if you want to take it out and send it my way, makes you feel better, that's fine. I support your right to free speech, and I respect your opinions. I just urge you, don't put yourself at risk. And don't put others at risk either. I was really disappointed to see people congregating, not wearing masks. I saw someone handing out candy to little kids, barehanded.
I get the economic hardship. Everybody gets it. Everybody feels it. You want to go to work? Go take a job as an essential worker. Do it tomorrow. No, there are people hiring. You can get a job as an essential worker. So now you can go to work and you're not going to kill anyone. Kavanaugh is going to reverse Roe v. Wade. I have no doubt. Gorsuch is going to reverse Roe v. Wade. I have no doubt. So what do? Protect ourselves. Pass a state law that is a prophylactic from the federal action, and that means pass Roe Reproductive Health Act and the Contraceptive Care Act.
The governor's executive order states this issue in the positive, quote, licensed medical providers have the responsibility to use their best clinical judgment to determine whether procedures are necessary to preserve the health and safety of their patients such that the procedures should not be postponed. Among the exemptions, abortion. In fact, in interviews and news conferences since her original order, the governor made it clear that she views abortion as a life-sustaining procedure.
Look, people, I'm in despair. This coronavirus overreaction has come at such a shocking price. Today's Bureau of Statistics figures, what have our politicians done? These stats tell us that their coronavirus bans have so far cost the jobs of more than 750,000 of our fellow Australians. That's 750,000 people who have not just lost their jobs and probably their savings, they're also being told now, stay in your homes. Don't leave except for exercise, a doctor, or basic shopping, if they can afford it. And the rest of us, of course, are also forced to obey very tough stay-home laws. Don't even dare go lie on Bondi Beach. And the folly of it all is that this is for a virus that in the past day to 6 a.m. this morning infected just 13 people. 1 in every 2 million of us. Does this not strike you as totally out of proportion? Today I read a story. Our stockpile of ventilators for coronavirus victims is now 3,000, with thousands more coming, which is wonderful news. I mean, we were told we're going to run out, people would be dying, needing something, no equipment, except hang on. We've actually now got just, 50 or so coronavirus patients in intensive care units where they might need ventilators? 50? Most of these new ventilators are just filling up storerooms, unused. Politicians are now fighting a health crisis that is nothing as big as they imagine. And even some very senior doctors are now wondering, crisis? Dr. Warwick Butt is the Director of Intensive Care at Melbourne's Royal Children's Hospital. And he says, yes, of course they had to prepare for this virus. I mean, we didn't know what was coming, did we? But now looking around, he's told the Herald Sun a number of patients in the beds, the number now, normal. And said, hang on. He points out that the United States last year, there were 38 million cases of the normal flu and around 80,000 deaths there. Did you hear anything about it? In fact, last year, 900 Australians died of the flu. 900. With no media fuss, no stay-home laws, nothing. This coronavirus hasn't killed 900 Australians. It's killed just 72. A person in her 90s died today. Yet look at the utter devastation that our politicians have caused by their overreaction. I mean, going back to Warwick Butt, that ICU boss. Yes, this coronavirus is deadly, and yes, there is no vaccine, and we need to be careful, but he says what we are seeing here is the media and internet spreading information, and anxiety and concern escalates, but actually when you look at the mortality rate, it's probably not worse than the flu.
Our data suggests that COVID-19 has an infection fatality rate that is in the same ballpark as seasonal influenza.
And then I came back to Sweden, and then I became state epidemiologist for Sweden, which means having control over all the infectious diseases. I'm advising Anders Tegnell at the Swedish Agency for Public Health. We, or the Swedish government, decided early in January that the measures we should take against the pandemic should be evidence-based. And when you start looking around for the measures that are being taken now by different countries, you find that very few of them have the shred of evidence base. But one we know, that's known for 150 years or more, and that is washing your hands is good for you and good for others when you're in an epidemic. But the rest, like border closures, school closures, social distancing, there's almost no science behind most of these. And do you think you could keep the lockdown to protect the old people until we have good drugs and good vaccines? 6 months, a year, 18 months? I think people would get a bit tired of it, even if they support the policy in the UK.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
I'm Deputy Everhart with the Sheriff's Department. So, are you aware that we're in a stay-at-home order right now?
Yeah, obviously.
By the government?
Yes, I am aware.
Okay, you're aware of that?
I am aware.
So I don't need to explain that to you?
No, you don't need to explain that to me.
I can if you need me to.
Go. You can because your officer was just here 2 weeks ago.
Okay, do you need me
and
to explain
he
it to you or
explained
no?
it to me that you guys weren't enforcing that order.
Oh, we're about to.
Okay.
So you understand it though?
Okay, so why are you here?
Because your daughter is going to play at other people's home and you're allowing it to happen.
Saying, go down, you murderer, go down.
They were over here as well. So are you here?
They've been talked to.
Okay.
About it. So
No, I
I'm talking to
understand.
you,
Okay.
and so either you can acknowledge it or you can argue.
I'm acknowledging it.
Okay, stop having your kid go by other people's home.
Okay, I acknowledged it. Anything else?
Nope, that was it. Apparently, there was some other
I
issue
acknowledged it.
before
I acknowledged it.
Good.
Anything else?
Yeah, I need your last name. Amy, what's your last name?
I'm not. Is there a reason you're asking for
I'm
it?
adding you to the screen so we can document that we had contact with you.
Is there a reason for it?
Yep, because you're violating a state order, which is a...
If you let me finish, that's what I'm explaining to you. Because you're violating an order,
I haven't violated an order.
We're going to have documentation in our screen with your name because we're here talking to you about that you said you just acknowledged.
Okay.
So then there's documentation.
I would like to see the law that requires me to give you that information.
Thank you.
Because I haven't,
What is your middle initial?
I don't believe that I'm required to give that to you. Are we done here?
No, we're not.
Okay.
Your middle initial and your last name.
I'm not giving it to you. I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay. Perfect. We got it.
Okay.
And that'll be documented too that you're uncooperative.
Okay.
Persons. Keep away from me, Smith. I'm an agent of Goldstein. I didn't know it myself. Thought crime was so insidious. It just creeps up in you. My daughter found it out. Very proud of her. Very grateful I've been discovered before it's too late.
When you see a crowd, when you see a line that's not distanced, when you see a supermarket that's too crowded, anything, you can report it right away so we can get help there to fix the problem.
By what authority did you nullify the Bill of Rights?
And now it's as simple as taking a photo. All you got to do is take the photo and put the location with it, and bang, send a photo like this, and bang, and we will make sure that enforcement comes right away.
How do you have the authority to order something that so clearly contravenes the Bill of Rights of the United States, the U.S. Constitution? Where do you get the authority to do that?
Text the photo to 311-692, and action will ensue. Bang, enforcement will come to get the help we need. Now it is easier than ever.
Earlier today, several outraged viewers contacted 11 Alive about the crowds at Piedmont Park and the apparent lack of social distancing measures being taken. We went to check it out. This is what we saw. Large groups of people, many of them in close proximity, very few wearing masks.
You're doing your part to stop the spread of COVID-19, but what happens when your neighbors aren't following the same rules? Some people are ratting their neighbors out, calling the police, but others are turning to the internet, where social distance shaming has gotten ugly.
They won't shoot me, will they, Smith? I know I could be very useful in a labor camp.